In the last session, we have discussed with column generator and peak stage. I'll just open the job 14. This is column generator and the other stage like peak. So column and row generators are useful to generate columns and records, and rows, the row generator and in column generator. Major difference between these two: row generator is to generate number of records that we specify in properties tab of options, number of records. You can give, but there is a certain limit. Okay, there is a certain limit to this number even. So it will not allow how much value you take. So this is the range of the values that you can provide. And next thing, and doesn't support any input for row generator. Column generator will support, and it will add a new column, and you can set the properties as we set in row generator. So the peak stage, which is like to view the log in the director, and the data also will be populated. It's like just a view purpose, and no space were consumed here. So because of that, we can restrict a lot of disk usage within the data stage too, and server. Now we are going to see the other concept, that is like we'll go to head and tail. So normally header tail, these are the two commands that we see in Unix commands even. For example, I have a file called and multiple files are retrieved now. We'll go for one of the file like cat emp. We'll see. I have emp1.txt. There are three records. And I want to retrieve the first record. Had I felt, in this case, I need to give a two value, provide two value. I cannot give one, because if I provide one, I'll get only the column names. Now this is the where head works. Head is the command in Unix, and this is to just verify your records from the top of the file. That's what the head. And we have a tail command even. For example, if I use tail and -1 emp1.txt, we'll get the last record 103. So head is like top of the file, and tail is like bottom of the file. Means we can retrieve the data from the top of the file and bottom of the file to check whether the data got loaded properly or not. These are the two commands in Unix. The same way, if you go for Datastage jobs, we have head and tail. We see these two stages here. See, immediate to this development debug stage, the development debug stages, I will go through the configuration file, node concept and all. Just please redirect. Actually, I need to first continue these sections with before to these sections. I need to continue with the configuration file and node concept. But due to some reason, unfortunately, started development debug stages. So there is some quite maybe confusion you may have feel, but it's not big one. Okay, it's not like complex confusion that we will create. But of course, it is somewhat confusion that we have. Okay, because of this per partition and all. But after this immediate development debug stage, I'll post these configuration file and all. So based on that, you can choose. You can understand the topics. Okay. So now we go for head option. So by default, it is like 10, and I'm generating 10 records here. I want to generate 100, 700 records, and view the data. First of all, what kind of data is generating, the settings what we did in the initial stage of starting development debug stages using row generator, the same records will be populated here also. Yeah, 101, 102, 103. So this is sequence number. There is no repetition. To total 100 records. 101 it starts and 120 it goes. Okay. From top of the file, I am choosing 10 records. I did not do any settings to head option, head stage. I am directly pushing into peak stage. Okay, I'll just remove the peak because going director every time and looking into the data, it may be not that much clear that we see in data set. Okay, so I'm just closing peak now for now. I'm going to give dev debug stage.ds. Okay, in head I'm going to do mapping event, and in head only from the top 5 records you need to pull. So top 10 records, top 10 or 10 records I got. We'll see whether those are top records or something else, what happened here. See, 101 to 110. These are the top records. Head gets top records. And in this somewhat interview scenario, one interview scenario we can cover here. I'll try to do it in the live session here itself. But maybe some kind of information I required. Maybe I need to change. See, I'm going to take a period per partition to skip per partition 1, and total 10 records I'm going to 20 records I'm going to fill from the top of the files. So here this is I hope I mean it should work, but if some changes required I'll do that. This is like what do we say, alternative records. Means even number of records. Else we can say uh, alternative records majorly, and the second record, even number of records I want means we can do in this. I'll explain you after getting viewing the data. See, 102, 104. See, these all are even number of records or not? Alternate records even. Like 101 is skipped, 102 you got, and 103 you skipped, 104 you got. So these are the like even number of records fetching. So if anyone asks you, of course there is multiple ways. There are multiple ways to generate this even number of records, but this is one concept in header stage. I have number of records per partition 20 and period per partition 2, skip per partition 1. So what will happen in this case, I will tell you. See, listen carefully. Period per partition 2, skip per partition 1. Once view the data, period per partition 2, skip per partition 1. Okay. What does it mean, a partition? Just that is the reason I told you in the starting of this session. I have unfortunately started development debug stages first instead of starting configuration file and node concept. Node concept, when you understand, you can understand the partition terminology. Okay, here what I'm trying to tell you is, see, period per partition 2. These are the two records, period per partition. These two records are period per partition. And in that I'm saying skip per partition 1. So the first one will be left and 2. Again, period per partition 2. And in that 103 will be removed. 105, 106. These are the period per partition. 105 will be removed. 107, 108. Period per partition 2. Skip per partition will leave. Like that we have up to 110 records. Like that we have. So up to 140 I got the data of alternative records. Okay. So this is what you can see the even number of records using header. There are multiple ways to discuss with alternative. Again, I'm telling you. Once we complete the partitioning techniques, node configuration file, then also I'll let you know how to get the alternative records or even number of records. This is one of the important interview scenario. Make sure that you can say using header also we can do that. Number of readers per partition and all. Okay, all partition true. I just want to make it as false. So then it will ask you the partition number. After completion of the node configuration, just I'll go through once again. Okay, then I can discuss more effectively. Because if it's without completing them, while I'm continuing with these things, I'm feeling it's not in a proper way. Okay, or else what you can do, you'll have all the classes. So what you can do, you can first view the partitioning node information and the partitioning techniques and configuration file concept. Then you can start with development debug. Then it will be more effective. Okay, you can understand clearly. I'll stop here, and this is what about header concept. And in the next session, we'll cover head tile, and we'll complete development debug stages, and immediately we'll start the configuration file concept and node and partitioning techniques. Thank you for watching this video.